Hello, I'm Joe Ross, partner with Televate. We're a public safety communications consulting firm, and this is a video series for first responders and dispatchers based on our decades of experience helping public safety build mission-critical communication systems. I'm here today with my partner, Dom Arcuri, and we're going to talk about one-way communications. So, Dom, I hear that first responders are often reporting that they're surprised when they can clearly hear dispatchers, but they can't get through to the dispatchers. Dispatchers can't hear them. Why does that happen?
Hi, Joe, and hello, everyone. Well, that typically happens because there is essentially a power difference between the communications from the dispatcher to those in the field, which we normally refer to as the outbound path, versus what we refer to as the inbound path, which would be the user in the field back to dispatch. From dispatch or from the tower sites, we typically have a lot of power, relatively, generally around 100 watts. The mobile radios can talk back at maybe 30 to 50 watts, but those users with portable radios have much lower power, 3 to 5 watts, depending on the frequency band, and therefore it's more difficult for them to get back into the system or to be heard by the dispatcher than it is for the dispatcher to contact them.
Okay, so it sounds like it's when that happens, it's not necessarily a failure in the system. It's just kind of designed to happen that way.
Well, that's a result of the design, exactly. A lot of times, especially in rural areas and maybe older systems that have been primarily designed for mobile coverage, as I mentioned just a minute ago, the mobile radios have higher power than the portables. So those systems that were designed for mobile radios, but then users started using portable radios more often, then you might see this phenomena where you would be potentially on the fringe of coverage, where the mobiles could still communicate, but the portable radios would have a hard time getting back to dispatch.
Okay, so it sounds like one other thing that I've heard is people often refer to having fine portable communications most of the time, but then in some areas they can talk back to the dispatcher. Does that have to do with the range of the portable radios?
Yes, it does. It would typically be a phenomenon on the fringe or near the fringe of the coverage, the outside of the service area, where it would be more difficult for the portable radios to talk back. During normal communications in most of the areas, the portable radios would have enough signal level and enough power to be able to talk back reliably.
Okay. So is there anything that the system operator can do to resolve this issue for portables?
Well, it's primarily an issue of system design. As I mentioned, a lot of systems and some of those in rural areas and older systems were primarily designed for mobile coverage. Systems, of course, can be designed for portable coverage. There is more involved, typically more infrastructure. You might need more transmit and receive sites to do that. But systems can be designed to, at least within the required service area, provide nearly equivalent coverage with a portable radio. And it does have something to do with the frequency band that's used as well. Typically, we see this phenomenon mostly with VHF and UHF frequencies, those that were designated by the FCC earlier in time. Uh, those more modern systems that are designed with 700 and 800 megahertz, they have additional capability. Manufacturers provide what we call tower top amplifiers, which can be used to amplify the incoming or the inbound signal and help balance the system. So
Mhm.
typically it's more of an issue with VHF and UHF users. And you asked what could be done about that. What's common practice with these types of systems is you can install additional sites. Some of them receive only, or some people refer to them as listening sites, which are designed primarily to help with this phenomena, to help receive a weaker signal from portable radio and still return it back to dispatch.
Okay, thanks. So is it always the case that when the dispatcher can't hear a first responder, but the first responder can hear the dispatcher, that it's this imbalance in the two paths, the talk paths?
Well, it's not always the case. Of course, there could be some equipment issues, but it is a common occurrence due to the imbalance. But sometimes there can be equipment issues either with the infrastructure, potentially antennas, or potentially with the user radio, the portable radio, for example.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations for first responders that experience this kind of issue?
Yes, we would recommend that you contact your system manager or your local radio shop if they're involved with maintaining your system. They would want to check to make sure that there are no infrastructure equipment issues, that all the system repeaters and antennas are working properly, and also look at your portable radio. If you're having the problem with the portable radio, look at that. It may need to be tuned, for example, or you may have a poor battery that reduces the power output. So those things have to be checked periodically to make sure your system's operating efficiently.
And I suppose that if it does turn out that your system was designed for mobile coverage, to get on your mobile and to talk to your dispatcher.
That's right. And at that point, you would want to look at potential system enhancements if you really need to use portable radios throughout the service area.
Mm-hmm. You could use things like vehicular repeaters to bridge between the mobile radio coverage and the portable coverage, things like that.
Yes, that's certainly one of the solutions. Typically, what we hear is when users are in the field and they can't communicate with their portable, the first thing they do, of course, if they can, if the situation allows them to, they can go back to their mobile radio and generally communicate then. Or if it's not convenient, as you mentioned, there are products called vehicular repeaters that can be installed in the vehicle and provide broader coverage throughout the area that the vehicle is located. So it essentially translates the mobile coverage into the portable radio that so provides them broader coverage.
Great. All right. Well, thanks very much. And to the audience, let us know if you have any other questions you'd like us to answer, any technology issue that you're confused about, why something happens and that happens to your communication system, your communications. And look forward to talking with you next time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.